Vikings obviously have a need at guard, because one is Pat Elflein and the other one was Josh Klein, who they cut for whatever reason. And this guard class, it's solid, but it is lacking top-end elite talent. Like, there's not going to be a surprise first-round pick like Chris Lindstrom in last year's draft. I mean, there may not even be a true guard taken in the top 50, and that's legit. I mean, yeah, you could take Wirfs, you could take Wills, kick him into guard for a year, blah, 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 blah. But a true guard, probably not for a while. That being said, I think there is a ton of value in the mid-rounds for guards, which is great news for the Vikings, especially since they have 2 third-round picks. So there you go. And now we've already talked about Nathaniel Moody from Fresno State, Jonah Jackson, perfect scheme fit out of Ohio State, Robert Hunt, massive man from Louisiana, and I'm sure we'll do another video. Like I can already hear the comments. So do Lemieux, do Damian Lewis, do all that stuff. We'll get to it, man. Still got like 3.5 weeks until draft time. So here are 3 mid-round guard options for the Minnesota Vikings. Let's get into it today. So number 1, Solomon Kindley out of Georgia. Now, I really like Solomon Kinley. Obviously, a little bit rough around the edges, but left side of the line, teammate with Andrew Thomas, who, for my money, is the best left tackle in this draft. 6'3", 370-pound redshirt junior, former 3-star recruit from Jacksonville, Florida. Went up to Athens and did some dirty work with the Bulldogs. Played both guard spots during his time in Georgia. 29 starts at right guard his sophomore and, redshirt sophomore year, and then capped it off with 11 starts at left guard his redshirt junior year in 2019. And when we say dirty work, like, I mean it, like tough, physical, nasty. I just absolutely love it. I mean, temperament-wise, he's sort of on par with Drew Samia. He really is. But, I mean, Samia was a much more polished product coming out. But just in terms of what they're bringing to the table, yeah, and we talked about, I like my guards a little bit feisty, just getting after it. I really do enjoy that. But also, Kinley, great punch, solid anchor. Of course, with that size, it's going to be pretty easy. Playing in the big bad SEC East, good. You know, it's going to be a tough road to hoe every single week, as well as being in the same division, Javon Kinlaw. Yeah. But does need some refinement. Has good feet, not going to be a perfect zone fit, but also he strikes me as a little bit Josh Kleinish, where I wasn't really, I was a bit puzzled by the Josh Klein signing because he was a bit of a plotter, wasn't really a fleet of foot. You know, he's not the 300-pound ballerina that you ideally would like as a guard in his own scheme. But also, I mean, at a certain point, just get good players, right? So even though Klein isn't perfect fit, he was fantastic last year, and I was a little surprised by the cut, but nah. Kinley didn't work out at the combine. I think he could be a day 3 pick, but his value, as well as the value as most of these mid-round guards, may be pushed up a little bit just because this class is lacking elite names. So some of these other guys at positions of need, if a team needs a guard, the Vikings could be pushed up the board a little bit. Numero 2. So this may be one of my favorite guys. Small schooler for sure. Kevin Dotson out of Louisiana. Raging Cajuns represent. So Robert Hunt is the big-time name from Louisiana. It's weird that Louisiana is just going to put up like 2 top 100 offensive linemen. It's odd. But Dotson, you know, he might be the better player. I think he might be. 6'4", 321 pounds, redshirt senior. Former 2-star recruit from Plaquemine High School in Louisiana, was a 4-year starter, all at right guard, and was PFF's numero 1, Anthony Peeler, guard in 2019 at 92.1 grade. Only allowed 3 pressures on 411 pass reps. Amazing strength, which, by the way, you can see why the Raging Cajuns were a run first team, because imagine running to that right side behind Dotson and Robert Hunt. I mean, get some. It's great. Dotson, not a stellar athlete, but moves okay. Was snubbed by the combine. But of course, the level of competition with the Sun Belt is an overall concern. But I really do enjoy him. I love him. Could be an early day 3 prospect. Could surprise a lot of people. So I'm sort of in on Kevin Dotson. And lastly, numero 3. So going from the small school to one of the biggest schools. So John Simpson, guard out of Clemson, 6'4", 321-pound senior, former 4-star recruit from North Charleston, 2-year starter, all at left guard for the Tigers, played 731 snaps in 2019. First team All-ACC last year, second team AP All-American as well, and at the combine, turned out very nice. 34 bench reps. Didn't do great in the agility drills, but a decent 5.2440, as well as great in the explosive drills, the jump, the broad as well as the vert, and just pure unadulterated strength. I mean, that's what he brings to the table. He kind of reminds me. All right, so David Dixon, obviously, as well as, do you guys remember Artis Hicks? A little bit. He was a later round pick. I think he was out of Tennessee. Eventually became a right guard starter for the Vikings. Started for a couple of seasons, and just a strong dude. Just got after it, and whose game that I really enjoyed. But John Simpson is just straight up a people eraser. Like, I know that Clemson didn't have that great of a time, national title game. But just watch John Simpson on that tape, just moving around men on the defensive tier of the LSU Tigers as well. But like I said, not a superb athlete, but can reach, can get to the second level. Wouldn't necessarily be a hindrance there, but also you're not going to mistake him for Garrett Bradbury anytime soon. You know, the Grim Reacher, right? So you could call him a plotter. I don't think he necessarily is one, but I could fully understand where you're coming from. But just in terms of an early day 3 candidate, I would be down for that. And with all three of these guys, I would be upset if they're the first offensive lineman taken for the Vikings, because I don't think that they are ready to start right away. Now, don't get me wrong. If they're taken, they could be in the starter mix right away. I mean, there isn't a ton of competition at the guard spots for the Vikings outside of Drew Samia, potentially Oli Udoh, etc. So I would prefer, say the Vikings do come away with one of the top 5 tackles, then circle back, grab a couple of these mid-round guards. Then that would be sexy time. That would be full-on sexy time. But those are our 3 for a day. What are your thoughts on Solomon Kinley, Kevin Dotson, as well as John Simpson, potential mid-round guards for the Vikings? Let us know in the comment section below. You always do. That's what I love. Also, subscribe to Daily Vikings Takes. You want to support the work? Pull some of the Venmo. Plus, give us a follow on social media as well. But until next time, Skull, production value.